right, the governor replied, suppressing a smile. I saw the movie. Alex squirmed. Well, anyway, the press kept making comparisons. They just didn't let up. The governor scratched his head, looking puzzled. He had rejected Alex's written request for clemency a few days ago, but agreed to this 11th-hour face-to-face meeting at his San Francisco office, the location chosen by mutual agreement over L.A., San Diego, Fresno, and Riverside because of its proximity to San Quentin. I don't mean to sound like I'm making fun of you, 'cause I ain't. But you're contradicting yourself now. You said before that Burrow got a fair trial. Yes, sir, in the courtroom. But what about the media circus beforehand? It poisoned the atmosphere. By the time the trial opened, people had already made up their minds. Folks were baying for blood, but vengeance isn't the same as justice. He had used the term folks deliberately, hoping that it would click with the governor's populist vocabulary. But the governor was one step ahead of him. Are we talking justice for the murderer here, or justice for the victim? Over the past few days, back at the office, Alex had practiced pitching various arguments, with Juanita and Nat at the plate, striking the kind of counter-arguments that he would inevitably face. But the more he had practiced, the more banal it had all sounded. There was nothing more to add to the fossilized debate. All he could offer was a mind-numbing replay. However, he had a few things going for him. Perhaps the strongest of these was that the incumbent governor, Charles Dusenberry, was himself an opponent of the death penalty. Not many politicians would stick their necks out by going on record with such a politically unpopular sentiment. Chuck Dusenberry was one of the few. Even with public opinion divided on capital punishment, supporters of the death penalty were more likely to be one-issue voters on the subject. But this didn't matter to Dusenberry. He was a lame duck, serving out his final term of office. His public position was that he had no plans to extend his political career at either the state or federal level and wanted to retire to a lakeside log cabin and spend his golden years playing golf and catching fish. This might have been good old hometown politicking. Some people, the media cynics, Dusenberry called them, suspected that he still harbored aspirations to catch bigger fish than you can find in a lake. You could never tell with Dusenberry. Alex took a deep breath and tried a different line of attack. Okay, there's something else that I'd urge you to consider. There's still reasonable doubt. You mean the fact that they never found the body? Exactly. So why didn't you argue lack of corpus delicti before the courts? The governor was teasing him. His smile said it all. Corpus delicti means the body of the crime, sir, not the body of the victim. You know that. Of course I know it, the governor snapped. So why are you feeding me this line of bullshit? Alex recoiled from the anger, but he gathered his wits and recovered his nerve quickly. Because even if there's corpus delicti in the formal sense, it's still possible that the alleged victim is alive. Can you send a man to the death chamber with these lingering doubts still hovering over the case? Well, let's see now. They found breast tissue from the victim in a plastic bag at the back of the freezer at Clayton Burrows' home. They found the victim's blood-stained, semen-stained panties hidden beneath the floorboards in Clayton Burrows' bedroom. They also found a blood-stained knife with a perfect set of Clayton Burrows' fingerprints in the same place. They used DNA to establish that the blood belonged to Dorothy Olsen and the semen came from Clayton Burrows. I don't know what you call that, but I call it corpus delicti. Don't you think it was just a little bit too convenient? The cops finding all that under his bed after an anonymous tip-off? You think they planted it? How would they get such evidence in the first place? I don't know. From the body? Which they never found. But why would he keep all